Well, everyone, look at those smiles on our three faces. It hasn't always been like that, but it's pretty impossible not to be smiling after that from Celtic today. 6-0 winners over Dundee. Just so many positives, John. We're going to have to do about an hour-long video.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I can't remember the last time we played that well. Stevie, you've got a better memory than me. When was the last time we played that well?
Even I'm struck. Certainly not last season anyway, John.
No.
You're going to have to go beyond that under the man who shall not be mentioned's reign. But that was just a delight, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable. I'm buzzing. I was buzzing from almost, from the 10 minutes onwards. Kyogo's amazing. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's our best striker. He's our best defender. He was all over the pitch. He was everywhere. He was flying into tackles. He was closing the ball down. He was making unreal movement off the ball, making space for others. Other people were linking up with him. He was scoring like Larsson. It was the best home debut I've seen for quite a while. I mean, again, I can't remember the last one that I've seen that was so good.
Nakamura for me. I know that's the easy comparison. 2005, Dundee United, Celtic Park. He didn't score that day from memory, but he was outstanding. That's the obvious one that came to mind, Stevie.
Yeah, right away. The easy comparison. But I remember being at that game, Scotland Day against Dundee United, and that performance with Nakamura, everyone was just raving about it. And it was the same with Kyogo there. Just fantastic, such a joy to watch. And it really silenced all the people that, it's when he signed and when they said, he's not going to handle the physicality of Scottish football. He doesn't, that's the thing, he doesn't need to be physical in that. See, when he's got movement like that and he's already a step ahead of everyone else, you just saw what he can do today, and it was just fantastic. What a performance, and I can't wait to see more of him. I'm buzzing for Thursday already.
See, the thing about Kyogo, I mean, I remember before he played for us, and we all didn't really know what he was like. We were just looking at clips of him, and I watched his last game for Vissel Kobe. That was all I'd seen of him. The expert opinion was that he wasn't just quick with his feet. He's really intelligent too, and you can see that straight away. I mean, he's just such a clever footballer. He knows when to make runs. He knows when to pull defenders. He seems like a level above intelligence wise, even people in our squad. Never mind the opposition.
He could have had 6 goals today, and that is no exaggeration. He misses that sitter in the first few minutes. The positive is he didn't let it get to him at all, because he scores minutes later. He scores the 2 goals within, I think, 4 or 5 minutes, and then has a chance for the hat-trick right after the second goal. Again, it's a bit of a sitter, and he probably should score. And then he has a chance in the second half where he's played through after a ricochet, I think, and kind of slices it over the bar. But again, I don't know about you guys, but I felt the hat-trick was still quite inevitable. You knew it was going to come at some stage, even after he missed those chances.
I mean, the great thing about him as well is that he's got charisma, he's got personality. He's not just a great footballer. Just the way he celebrated his first goal, he's pointing to the number on the back of his shirt, the way he's kind of, bringing in all the applause for the Man of the Match award, towards the end. He's a player who plays with a smile on his face, and again, it's just a joy to watch. It makes you feel brilliant as a Celtic fan.
For so long, Stevie, we've spoken about needing to replace Odsonne Edouard. We've spoken for so long, and I certainly didn't think when Furuhashi signed that he was Odsonne Edouard's replacement. Well, he is. There's no getting around that. When he plays like that today and scores those goals, I'm hesitant to say we won't miss Edouard, because of course you're going to miss a player of Edouard's quality, but we're not going to miss him nearly as much as we thought if we've got Kyogo there.
No, my very first thing that came into my head was when I saw Kyogo's performance. I was thinking, well, Edouard's going to be struggling for a place in the team now, and that's no exaggeration. We saw last season Edouard was playing within himself, and he was playing week in, week out, even though he wasn't at his dynamic best that we know he's capable of. But Edouard will be seen. Who knows? He might. That might actually, spur on Edouard a wee bit as well, because Edouard might be seen that as going, that's a new challenge for me. I'm not guaranteed to be playing week in, week out anymore. We've actually got a genuine forward who is dynamic. He's a hassle for defenders, and he can finish. And Edouard's maybe going to be seeing that, going, I need to maybe step up here, and that's an internal challenge for him, and it's good for the club, because the manager would then be seeing that as it's a selection headache for him if Edouard starts up in his game, and Kyogo is too, and it can only benefit everyone else at the club.
I must admit, my mind did drift to Albion Ajeti for some daft reason during that game, just comparing him to Kyogo and seeing how different every part of their game is. Now, I know they are different players in the way they play the game. Ayeti's more of a poacher. Having said that, Kyogo's goals today, certainly the first two, were real poachers' goals that Ayeti would have been proud of. This guy's going to be an absolute star for us, John. I know we never like to build someone up too high too early, but sometimes you just get a feeling. You have it with Nakamura, with Dembele, with Edward. You feel it with Kyogo, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just promising signs today. He was the finished product today, but he blew everyone away. He blew everyone in that stadium, everyone watching that game away today, and that, I mean, that's phenomenal to get that from his first start at Celtic Park, his second start in total. He's come over from Japan. He's come through quarantine. I mean, there's people who will say it's just against Dundee and all that nonsense, but I don't buy into that. How many times have we been sitting after matches against a team and against just Dundee or just Livingston or just another team in the Scottish Premiership over the last 18 months and had our face tripping us, even when we've won? And today just put a smile on my face, and it's down to Kyogo. I think it's the way he plays, just with the passion and personality he has, and his intelligence. Again, you're saying that those were poachers' goals, and they were, but when the ball goes wide to Abada or Christie, he knew exactly where he needed to be a threat to that Dundee defence. And Dundee were kind of pinned in, and they were sitting back, but the difference between this season and last season is that we were just really stretching them throughout the whole game. We were pulling their players about, we were pulling them out of position. It wasn't just one note football. It was dynamic, as Stevie says. It was just phenomenal.
This is going to sound mental after a 6-0 home win, but I thought we actually started off quite sloppily. I thought the players were quite nervous. There was a bit of passing going astray. Dundee probably started the better side. I'm talking maybe 7-8 minutes, something like that, at the start of the match. But then when the team kind of relaxed, and you've got to remember it's a big deal for the team playing in front of 25,000 Celtic fans for the first time in a while. I know we've had 9,000 for Midtjylland and 18,000 for a friendly against West Ham, but today was kind of the big one with fans there in the league. Big chance to get back on a winning run after last weekend at Tynecastle. So you can understand the nerves. But when they passed, Stevie, we passed, and we passed the ball. We moved the ball so well. Dundee could not live with us at all. And I just spent the full first half grinning, watching the game. And I'll tell you why, a great sign of how good Celtic were today. I was disappointed when half-time came. I really couldn't stand the thought of going 15 minutes without watching that team. And when you compare that to what we witnessed last season, when you were praying for the half-time sometimes just so you didn't have to watch Celtic, it is worlds of difference.
Yeah, you remember, Hamish, that I said on the show during the week that this was a big game for us in terms of building on it for momentum. It was good to get that first win, but it was how we performed here today, which was going to really be more important than just winning. And I thought after the first 5 minutes or so, there was poor comms with Stephen Welsh and Joe Hart, and Hart's kicking a couple of times was a wee bit dodgy. As you say, I think the big thing for us, you said it on Twitter, I agreed with you. I noticed after the first 10 minutes, Cal McGregor really took that game with the scruff of the neck. Every time we saw McGregor last season, sideways pass, back pass, lazy, sloppy. There was no, the weight to the passes were poor by him. This one here, it was like the first 10 minutes, as you say, McGregor was noticing, right, we need to up it here. Took it with the scruff of the neck. Every pass was going forward. He wasn't looking back the way, wasn't looking side to side. Driving us on, and that's really what gave the team confidence. And when we started creating chances, you felt, yeah, it's inevitable in terms of the opener. And when we made it 1-0, there wasn't even that feeling of that defence this time. That was a key thing for me. When we went 1-0 up, I never thought that back four though. I was actually thinking, well, no, this front five, we're going to be scoring a few more, and we did. And it was all down to, I think, Callum McGregor just upping the game for us, and it was so vital. And we need to see that far more from him as well. And I think we will.
I thought Starfelt was good as well on the ball. He, certainly defensively, maybe he had a couple of lapses, especially in the second half, but he looks really good on the ball. You get a feeling with some players where you're just secure when they've got the ball, and we've had plenty of centre-backs in years gone by that you've not had that feeling with. Whenever he has the ball, a bit like Christopher Ayer, I'm content that he's going to start an attack, but you hit the nail on the head with McGregor there. John, who else do you want to pick out?
Well, Ryan Christie's the obvious one. I mean, if Kyogo hadn't scored a hat-trick, he'd be easily the man of the match. I thought he was outstanding again. We don't know what's going on with him in his contract, but if we manage to sign him up, that would be a tremendous bit of business from Celtic, because if he can play like that and he has he's the one I feel like is already getting the Kyogo thing in the sense that he knows where he's going to be running. The pass for Kyogo's third goal was unbelievable. And if he's spotting that kind of thing early, we need players in the team that can do that. We need players in the team who can link up with him going forward, and Christie seems capable of doing that. I mean, Celtic just in general, I thought were good. I thought Ralston was good again. The good thing about us playing out the back, it's not just playing out the back for the sake of it. It's not just possession for the sake of it. What happens is we draw teams in, and the trading of possession between the goalkeeper and defenders is drawing teams in. And when we break past that first line, having Callum McGregor there sitting in a bit deeper, he's our first port of call with the ball. When he's running into the midfield after breaking the initial line of the Dundee press, he's got the vision and he's got the game intelligence to distribute that to the right place where it makes us most dangerous in attack. And I thought that was a big thing today. I think you're right to point out McGregor, but yeah, Ryan Christie for me was also unbelievable.
I thought we were much stronger today without Ismaila Soro, and that's not a slight against Soro because I do like him, but I think for games at home in the league against bottom six opposition, I'm not convinced you need Ismaila Soro next to Callum McGregor. And I thought today with McGregor and Turnbull and Christie kind of playing whatever way they were playing there, I think Turnbull was kind of playing right, but those three kind of motoring around, I thought we looked far more potent than we probably have done over the last wee while. So I think that's one certainly to watch. Ryan Christie was just brilliant today, outstanding. Was it 3 goals he set up? Yeah. Incredible.
I think he something like 11 chances he created. It was unbelievable.
Outstanding today, and when he's playing like that, Stevie, he has just got to be in that team.
Absolutely, and I thought what was so good about Christie was even early on when he had the ball, he knew what he was going to do. There was no dilly-dallying on the ball. We saw last season, we know our frustrations. I'm not going to repeat myself what Christie was guilty of last season, but what I found interesting is the fact that in 2 games, maybe 2 or 3 games now, I think maybe Ange has got more out of Christie than what certain managers did last season with Christie over a course of a season. I find that remarkable, and I thought Christie, he was just so unselfish. He was direct, but he was unselfish, and I think he's got to be alongside McGregor and Kyogo now for the next game. He's got to be the first name in the team sheet. I dearly hope we get the contract situation sorted, but do you know what? Even if we don't, and if Christie is away at some point, then at least he's still really giving his all for the team. He's no playing within himself, he's not being selfish, and he's not thinking, I've got to get my move, I've got to think about me. He's actually been a massive asset for the team, and the manager will appreciate that, and it's only great for everybody around about him as well, because we're benefiting from it. A far better attitude, and long may it continue.
There was just so many positives today, John. It was one of those days where you could look at everyone. We've got comments flying in Anthony Ralston, who scores another incredible goal. We've got Tom Rogic, who, I don't want to take too much credit for this, but we get Scott McDonald on 67 Hail Hail, and Tom Rogic starts his revival, and maybe there's a wee link there. Numerous other players you could pick out in that performance. Stephen Welsh, I thought, had a pretty solid game. Joe Hart's distribution seemed to be quite good, certainly from the back. It was just one of those days when everything clicked, and you've just got to hope the team can really kick on for this now, going into Thursday when we're going to have a full Celtic Park again. Yeah,
David Turnbull as well. You're just looking to Thursday night now. I can't wait. It's the first time in a long time where I've been looking forward to a Celtic game with genuine excitement about seeing the players in action, and not just because it's a Celtic game. I'm just so excited to see Kyogo, and so excited to see, what players Ange goes for on Thursday night, and what kind of performance we can put in. It's difficult at the moment. There's a lot of games and they're coming thick and fast, but by all accounts, Ange is wanting another 2 signings in this week at least, and then we've still got another 2 weeks before the end of the window. Things are really starting to look up now. If we can get another 2, 3, 4 players into this team, even if they're some of them are for depth more than anything, I think everyone will be feeling a lot happier. The difference that Ange's signings have made to this team is quite incredible. If he's got the kind of vision to see that Abada's going to be a hit and Kyogo's going to be an immediate hit, that's going to be unreal for us going forward. I don't think anyone expected these players to perform like that today so early in their Celtic career, but Abada and Kyogo just look like they're our best players already. It's unbelievable. I mean, I keep saying unbelievable, but it really is.
Abada today probably won't get the credit from a lot of people, but he still contributed 2 goals basically in terms of assists. He wins the penalty late on and he sets up, I think it was the first goal, wasn't it, for Kyogo with a great run and a first time ball. The thing I loved about that first goal, for all of the nice intricate passing Celtic do, it was 3 touches and we moved the ball from the halfway line basically into the back of the net. There was that great ball for Turnbull, 1 touch from Abada, 1 touch from Kyogo into the back of the net. And Stevie, it's frightening to think how good this Celtic team could be. We've got McCarthy still to come in. We've got a right back who will be signed, even though Ralston is playing quite well. Maybe another centre back as well, maybe another striker. Like, we really don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, and as much as we may seem like we're doing that after a 6-0 win, there are certainly, it feels like the start of something, this team.
Yeah, it does, and I think it's better. After a 6-0 win, what are you going to be doing? Talking positively or talking down the team? Of course we're going to be talking. Look what we had to put up with last season, all of us, for what we had to go through, and I know it's real first world problems and everything, but I mean, it was a nightmare, and it was just like a totally different side, and it was back to seeing the Celtic that you know and love, like creating hundreds of chances, putting a smile on your face, and just being a thoroughly enjoyable 90 minutes again. And can I just say one thing? What I really was put a massive smile on my face was at like 60 minutes, and we had a corner, Dundee cleared it, and they were going to break, and we had 3 players hounding them, and they lost the ball. I think it was Big Sheridan. And that was amazing, because you wouldn't have seen that hunger and desire last season. You wouldn't have seen any of it. And already, Ange has said, we never stop. We stop at half time, we stop at full time. You saw that today. The players worked so hard in the second half. It was a big test. Would we take our foot off the gas, or would we keep going for it? We still kept going for it as if it was 0-0 all the way to the 90 minutes. And if that's what you're going to see for this Celtic team, and if that's what you're going to see under Ange, then brilliant. I think all of us are in, and I think all 3 of us have been behind the manager for day one. And if that's what you're going to get out of it, then brilliant. It's justified.
Yeah, I'm just delighted for Ange, because, I mean, he called his shot as well. He said before the game, even in his pre-match interview, he basically said, it's great having fans back, but we need to earn their appreciation. It's not, it doesn't come by default. It doesn't come just because they're back in the stadium and they're seeing a Celtic team playing. It needs to be earned. And he said that the fans were going to get a show today, and they did. And you could feel him saying that kind of thing to the players. You can feel him being that kind of leader for these players and inspiring these players to reach their best. I mean, this is just the start. I mean, and again, you can't get too carried away, but as Stevie says, the amount we've had to put up with over the last 12 months is ridiculous. So I'm going to take these victories as they come and enjoy them and feel hopeful about the future, because if we can play like that more often than not, then we're going to be a force to be reckoned with this season, I think.
And when you talk about those Ange comments about having to earn the support of the Celtic support, in a way, have to play the good football to get them on side. And again, you compare that to the entitled viewpoint we had from the people at the club last season of almost just taking the support for granted. I think it is going to resonate with the Celtic support, Ange's team playing that kind of football. I just wanted to bring up a comment. I had it on screen a minute ago there from Derek, the end there. Great to see the players playing with smiles on their faces. It was something I noted down. Again, comparing it to last season when Celtic so often the players looked like they wanted to be anywhere else apart from the pitch. Today, the smile on everyone's faces. Ryan Christie was smiling before kick-off when the camera panned him. And, Kyogo seems like a really smiley figure. And, there's numerous players like that. It seems like quite a happy place to be. And if we keep playing, it's only going to go one way. Stevie, final comment on a pretty good day.
It was it was just so good to enjoy Celtic again. That's it. Quite simply. Like, you guys know what I'm like. I can be a miserable man. I have been a miserable man for a long time watching Celtic. I haven't been now for the last couple of games. Today was great. Hopefully we can kick on from it, and the team are just brilliant today.
John?
Kyogo's the real deal. That's why everyone's going to be talking about him all week, because he's just phenomenal. And he's already my favourite player. I just think he's got so much personality to back up his skill, and I can't wait to see him again on Thursday and next weekend.
Well, listen, we'll leave it there. It's been a wonderful day. Quickly, Stevie's get Gig Pod dropping at some stage.
I do, for everyone who's watching. Yep, Gig Pod will be out tonight. Unfortunately, I'm going to be on with Rizzo, so that's probably the worst news at the very end of your show. I'm very sorry to let everyone know that, but I'll try and soldier on through it anyway, Hamish, and thanks for having me on again.
Not a problem. Thanks very much, guys. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come on the channel. Thanks everyone for watching. There's well over 700 of you on at the moment, which is great to see everyone buying into this. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. We are back next week, full steam ahead of Jablonec at home on Thursday night. Take care everyone, and hail hail.